What is up, guys? This is Zach with Dreamedia Home Theater. Just another beautiful day here in Texas. I'm down here in South Lake and we're gonna be doing a Dolby Atmos system. This is gonna be a Klipsch Reference Premier 7.2.2 Dolby Atmos system. The guys are working on getting everything unloaded right now off the truck. And then I'm gonna show you the space and all of the equipment that we're gonna be using. It's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna be using, instead of projection in this room, we're gonna be doing an 85-inch 4K Sony TV. So a little different than what you typically see. I think it's gonna be a really cool installation. The space is really small and the way the ceilings are laid out is very unique. Can't wait to show you guys the way the system's gonna go down. We're gonna get the products offloaded right now and I'll show you the space we're working with. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, we just got all of the content, all of the speakers, TVs, everything that we're gonna be using upstairs into the theater room. This is the space I'm working with. You can see it's still under construction. Perfect time for me to come in and make it all dirty. Let me show you what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is the front of the space, and we're gonna be mounting the 85-inch Sony TV right here on the wall. And we're gonna be putting in the Klipsch 250 RPWs, front left, front right, and center. All in the wall, clean, recessed, really nice. And then we're gonna do two 12-inch subs, one here and one here at the front of the room. And I'm gonna be putting in my 160 RPWs right here as surround and surround. And then behind me, you can see they're working on putting in a little bar top here so you can sit and eat. Step back a little bit. And then I'm gonna install brand new wiring right there and right there, which will be for his rear effects. Now, you can see the architecture of the home and the way that the roof is kind of is restrictive, but we're gonna make the best of it, and I'm gonna pop in two Atmos right here and right here. Now, you know, in a perfect world, the customer would have liked to do a 4 overhead Atmos, but it just wasn't really making sense with the layout of the roof. So I think the 7.2.2 is gonna be best for this particular circumstance. You know, this is a good example of how not every single room is just strictly a square box, but we can still make an awesome system even if you have circumstances like this. I can't wait to see this project come together. Over here, this is gonna be our closet, little bar area. We're gonna be putting our rack right here. We're gonna be using the Strong FS series, the 15U rack. And all the wiring is gonna come out right where you see that blue tape. So the guys are getting started right now, unboxing everything. I'll show you the speakers we're working with, like a quick little slideshow of those particular items. And then most importantly, how we're gonna get all this wiring into place. Thanks for watching, guys. Wherever we can get power, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna start by just figuring out where our TV is gonna go on the wall, because that's the first place to start. We need to figure out where the TV is gonna go so that I can figure out how I'm gonna space out my speakers and get everything marked out, since we're retro wiring this particular room. Now, this is the tilt mount that I'm gonna be using. It's a rapid mount and it's a full bracket. I just wanna ensure that this TV is supported because it is extremely heavy. It's 85-inch. We're gonna basically just be bolting right into these positions right here with the arms that are included right here. Okay guys, so what we're doing is we're going around the whole room with the customer and we're discussing placement of speakers and trying to find the optimal location based off of stud placement in the room's specifications to find out where we need to cut these speakers into place. This is one of the locations that we chose to put the speaker. This is the surround speaker, and you can see I just marked it out. I'm gonna show you the rest of the speakers that all of our surrounds and fronts are now cut into place. Look over here. We have our front right, our center, which is sitting center of the room. This is gonna be the bottom of the TV, and this is gonna be the top of the TV. Over here, we have our front left. Jerry's about to start cutting in our surrounds. He just cut in our rears, and you can see we did have some issues with this particular one. They had a random cross beam here that we had to etch out that was in there during construction. And then over here we have our other surround speaker, which is super tight. We literally have a stud here and a stud here. I'm gonna have to get a little grease on that bad boy. I'm gonna get the in-ceiling Atmos in next, and the guys are gonna continue to get all these cut out. We got drywall dust flying. This is like in-wall speaker cutting madness right now. See, Jerry just got the in-wall in and we're getting our wires fished. Luckily guys, on this project, there's attic access all the way around. So let me go show you the attic. Here's where the wires are gonna come out. And the attic is in here. And what's nice is that, I mean, it's not easy, but you can actually access it all the way around. Nice big attic. We're moving along. All right guys, here's everything that we're gonna be using on this project. We'll start from right to left. We got the Strong FS series. This is the 15U. I like this guy because it's fully enclosed, has a nice glass door on it, has all the shelves built in, as well as we have fans to ventilate everything. Nice wheels with locking casters. And then we're using the In Command series 4500 Denon, power everything up. We have the new 2019 85-inch Sony. And then as far as speakers go, we're using the 160 RPWs for our surrounds and surround rears. This is a look at the back of the speaker. And then this is the front of the speaker. 90 by 90 Tractrix horn, titanium dome tweeter with the Cerametallic woofer. And then for our front left, right, and center, we are using the 250 RPW. Here is a close-up look at the back. These are the brand new models that were released last year, not the older CDTs, which they had for 8 years. This has the 5 1/4 woofers with the 90 by 90 horn. This is better for your front, especially your center, because it's not going to be as bassy. Your dialogue will come out clear. You can see this is a very well built speaker. Got gold plated push terminals, nice big magnets. This is again the 160s for the surrounds and surround rears. Now these are our Atmos speakers. We're using the RPCs 160s, Pro 160 RPC. This is the front of the unit. You got treble and just treble actually, adjustments there on the front. And then here's the back of the unit. And then our subs. This is the 120 SPL from Klipsch. 12-inch ported sub. Here's the back of the unit. It's a really hard-hitting sub. And what I love about Klipsch is they're extremely affordable for the performance that they output. So this is just an overview of the system that we're about to install. The guys are working on wiring it in right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and get all of these bad boys put in. Moving along. Okay guys, so we're gonna start installing the speakers in the wall. And I figured this would be a good location to show you because I got a nice bright window. This particular unit has a completely detachable back bracket, which I think is really nice because if you're having some trouble getting it installed in the wall, like say there's framing or something in place, you can work on that with this piece, and then once you have it set in, then you can attach your speaker. But basically the way it works is these tabs, they just pull out and snap onto your sheetrock right there. It's a pretty snazzy little design they have. And then you can see there's foam right here that actually seals the speaker and your wall. right up. So I'm just gonna take the speaker, take the back bracket, install it, then install the speaker and show you guys exactly how it's done, and then we're gonna do it to the whole room. So speaker back bracket goes on like this, and see this one here, clamps right on like that. Same thing here, clamps right on. And then you're gonna wanna make sure that it's level. Level is key. You want everything in your house to look nice. And at this point, it's still loose, so you can easily adjust it. Once you get the speaker in there, then it tensions these really tight to the sheetrock, so it's in that position permanently. Okay, so next thing is you take your speaker, and you're gonna take your red and your black to your red and your black. Pretty easy. Make sure that all of the copper is in. I recommend about 1/4 inch, cutting it back about 1/4 inch. Any more than that, any more than a half, is you're just gonna end up with it shorting out somewhere. So now it's installed, but it's not tight. So what we're gonna do is take our drill like so, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten it down. And watch the wall in the speaker. See how it gets really tight? Now it's permanently installed, and you're gonna do that in all 4 corners. You wanna make sure you don't over torque it. Just watch the speaker as it's pulling to the wall. You can kind of tell when it's tight. You know, there's no need to rip on it. You're just gonna break the back leg off. Next thing we're gonna do is take the level and just make sure that we're still level with earth, which you can see it shifted. So I'm just gonna loosen it up a tad bit and then make adjustments. Okay, so now that it's level, you can adjust your treble and bass settings on the unit, or you can do it in your calibration. I like to just leave it default, and then I calibrate it in the amplifier processor. This is the magnetic grill that's included, and these are paintable. That's what the product looks like installed. Now, this customer is going to be painting the room, so this is how we're going to leave it. What I like is that Klipsch includes this paint guard so that you can put this on there like this, and then the paint crew can come behind and just spray the whole wall, and then later customer pops on those grills and they're all finished. So what we're going to be doing is just going through the whole room and installing these speakers, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so we pretty much have all our wiring in place, and we're working on getting the speakers in right now, as well as the overheads. And I just wanted to point out one thing that I was just discussing with the customer, and that's HDMI specifications. We ran a 25 earlier, and it was just a little too short. So we're running a 30-footer, and this is a fiber optic HDMI. And it's gonna give you the absolute highest level of quality that you can get at this time. It's gonna pass a full 18 gigs at 4x4x4, as well as it does have audio return channel, and it is CL3 rated. It's gonna have DHCP 2.2. Basically, any runs over 25 foot, I recommend using fiber, but we're also going to run a optical cable back here, as well as just a backup in case the audio return channel doesn't work, because sometimes, especially on longer runs, the audio return channel for whatever reason doesn't pass. Even though the manufacturers will say that it's supposed to pass at that distance, it doesn't always. So I always just run the optical. Opticals are cheap anyways, so throw one in your wall. We're also going to put in 2 Cat 6. All right, guys, so this is a very interesting situation right here. You have a stud here and you have a stud here. What do? we've actually been coming up with different ideas for this for years, and my brother Grayson actually figured out a really good idea about a couple weeks ago, and that is taking a screw and drilling it straight through the toggle. This is just plastic into the wood, and that holds it really solid and secure in the wall, but it's not actually messing up the speaker at all, because this can still function. It would just have a little tiny hole in it from the screw. Probably the most genius thing we figured out in a while, because whenever I first started in this business, we would just tighten them as tight as we could, and then over time the speaker would literally just vibrate loose, and then, you know, it would start to pop out of the wall. So the other thing we would do is, you know, drill holes in the stud, and then it would clamp onto that, but then you're messing with the integrity of the home. So it's a little hack, a little pro tip for installing whenever you have studs on the sides like this. And I'll show you exactly how we do it. That side clamped on, this side did not. So I'm going to take my drill and go right in. Check it out. I mean, once this thing's tight, that puppy ain't going anywhere. Okay, so I have the back bracket level. I got 2 screws into the studs here, and this one was able to clamp on. So this back box is really solid in there. See, and what's so cool about this hack is that you're not damaging anything. The screw is held into place, or the toggle is held into place, and you can still screw it down to pull the speaker nice and tight. Big shout out to Grayson for that one. But yeah, you can see this, the speaker's in there, and it's not going anywhere. On to the next one. Okay, so you can see we got the TV up, and we have the paint grill covers on all of our speakers. Guys are gonna come and do a little touch up on the speakers. We're gonna go ahead and just plug the subs in, but the customer still needs his carpet. Jerry's been working hard on the rack. You can see that it's looking really good. He's got everything nice and tidy and plugged in. And got a couple more adjustments to make. All in all, install's turning out very nice. What we're gonna be doing is coming back. I was gonna go ahead and, you know, run a demo and, you know, just basically call it a day on this project, but I think it's important that we fine tune it and calibrate it properly based on the room's condition currently. I mean, listen to my voice. I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but it's reverberating pretty bad. So stay tuned, and I will be back for a follow-up video whenever we complete the work.